What's up guys, welcome back to Cocktail Cards. Today we're going to be showing you how to make a Manhattan. We're going to show you not only the classic Manhattan that you all know and love, but we're also going to be showing you how to make a perfect Manhattan, a version that's probably a little less popular, but it might fit your palate a little bit better. And at the end of the video, we're going to do a little taste test of the two, see if I can tell the difference and which one I prefer. But real quick, let's talk about our classic Manhattan. So this drink was created around 1880s, and historians' best guess is that it was actually originated in Club Manhattan. And while the ingredients are still probably fairly similar, the ratios have probably changed over time in this drink. As our alcohols get better, we try to hide them less. So this follows a really simple 2-to-1 ratio. It's a very easy 3-ingredient cocktail. One thing that's going to be a little bit different here, I will be using bourbon. Now, chances are back in the late 1800s, if you're in an upper state of the US, you probably are having drinks with rye in it. So this drink is traditionally with rye. However, you know, pick whatever you enjoy. I tend to lean a little bit more towards bourbons, even though I do have some delicious ryes back there. Pick what you enjoy and go with that. But if you want to be really authentic, this is definitely a drink that was originated with rye whiskey. Now, as far as the flavor of the cocktail, there's going to be 3 key points that I want to talk about here real quick that are very, very important. Because while this is a very simple drink to make, a little change and a little nuance can really make a big difference in this cocktail. And one big one is going to be the sweet vermouth that you use. So this will have bitters, whiskey, and sweet vermouth. Now, not all sweet vermouths are created equal. You could have a high quality vermouth, a low quality vermouth, of course, but the big thing that's going to make an impact is how much flavor your vermouths are packing here. So I have Carpano Antica. It is incredibly popular. You've probably heard about it. But this thing packs a punch when it comes to flavor. And when you pair this with a whiskey, it can sometimes hide the whiskey in the drink. So if you're gonna be using a vermouth that has intense flavor like a Carpano Antica, you're gonna wanna match that with a whiskey that can actually kind of fight through the overpowered flavor of your vermouth. Now, one easy way to do that is pick a whiskey that is overproof. That's gonna be 100 proof or higher. It's gonna give it some spice, some bite, and you're definitely gonna know the whiskey is there. And I have some Old Grandad, which is a delicious, delicious whiskey, and it's 100 proof. So 50% alcohol, has a good spice, good bite. I'm gonna be able to taste it in this cocktail, and it's gonna pair well with my Carpano Antica. And that goes vice versa the other way too. If you have a really light vermouth, like a Dolan or a Martini Rossi, something like that, you'll probably want to pair that with a whiskey that's a little less proof. You know, somewhere around the 70–80% proof. That way you're pairing appropriately and no flavor is going to really overpower the drink. It's going to be nice and balanced. Now, on that same spectrum, the second thing we could talk about is ratios in our cocktail. I'm a whiskey forward type of person in almost all my drinks. So when I make this at home for myself, I'll typically add a little bit more whiskey and take a little of the sweet vermouth away. I'm gonna show you the traditional version here for this, but that's something you can keep in mind. You could add vermouth or add whiskey, and whatever profile works best for you. Definitely experiment and try that, but stick with the original recipe the first time and kind of work from there. Now, the last thing that can affect your drink is going to be your bitters. This is traditionally made with Angostura bitters. They're delicious. Most places you go to are going to serve them, but there are so many delicious bitters out there. I encourage you to go out and try different ones. You know, maybe not flavored, but something like a chocolate or a coffee. You know, those are things that could be really good in your Manhattans. But if you just go out and try different bitters and mix and match with some good ones out there, you might find some that even work a little bit better for your palate. It's just a fun thing to do, and thought I'd throw that in. So let's go ahead and jump in and make our classic Manhattan. So this drink is going to be stirred, so we're gonna build this out in our mixing glass. And the first thing we're gonna do is add whiskey. Now, for making this drink, it's actually really easy to remember the ingredients because it follows a 2-1-2 ratio. 2-part whiskey, 1 part vermouth, 2 dashes of bitters. It's really easy to remember because the area code of Manhattan is actually 212. So that's a pretty awesome coincidence there. I'd imagine a coincidence because I don't think area codes were made back in the day. Anyway, or I could be wrong. I didn't actually look that up, so I don't. Maybe I should look things up before I put them in my videos. We're gonna go ahead and start with 2 ounces of whiskey. Next, we're gonna grab our sweet vermouth and we're gonna do 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. Let's go ahead and add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And next, we're gonna add some ice and we're gonna give this a stir for about 30 seconds. So one thing I did do before making these cocktails, I did leave some glasses in my fridge to chill down. So if you want to chill your glasses, definitely do that before you start making this drink as well. So a good way to tell if your drink is ready or not, just go ahead and feel the outside of your glass, and if it's starting to feel chill, that means your drink is probably ready. All right, so we're just gonna grab either a coupe or a martini glass, and we're just gonna strain our drink into our glass. So for the garnish, typically you can do either an orange peel, but most likely what you're gonna find is some sort of cherry. So I have these beautiful Luxardo cherries. We'll go ahead and throw one of these in here for a garnish. Plop that in. And there you have it, the classic Manhattan. So good. So this Manhattan packs a ton of flavor. You got your Campano Antica, you got your Old Granddad, which is gonna be an overproof whiskey, and there is no shyness of flavors in this drink. Classic, you know, bourbon forward, but you got the vermouth there just kind of smoothing everything out. Awesome, one of my all-time favorite drinks right here. So let's go ahead and jump into the perfect Manhattan real quick. So the perfect Manhattan is gonna follow a lot of the same principles as your classic Manhattan. It's even gonna have the same 2-1-2 ratio. However, for the 1 ounce of vermouth, we're actually gonna split that in half with sweet vermouth and also dry vermouth. So let's go ahead and build that out. We're gonna go ahead and start with 2 ounces of our whiskey. Next, we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of sweet and 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. We're still gonna add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Add ice and give this a stir for about 30 seconds. All right, same thing, fill the outside of the glass. If it's feeling nice and chill, your drink's ready. All right, we're gonna strain this in our coupe or martini glass, whatever you prefer. All All right, so for the perfect Manhattan, we're kind of going a little bit more towards that dry profile. So instead of a cherry or an orange for a garnish, we're actually gonna do a lemon peel here so we can add a little lemon zest to the drink. Wow, this is not staying together. There we go, that works. This lemon just wants to fall apart. All right, so this is packed full of a ton of essential oils. So all you're gonna do is point at your glass, just give it a nice squeeze, and you should be able to see a bunch of essential oils pop out here. This isn't the best lemon here, but you know, you got it. All right, so once you're done, you can take this, either throw it in your drink, or you can just put it right, whoops, there we go. Or you can put it right on the end here as a peel, and there you have it, the perfect Manhattan. That's good. Definitely a much more dry profile than the first one. The sweet vermouth is still there, you can taste it for sure, but that dry vermouth actually makes a pretty big difference in this cocktail. And of course that lemon zest on top just gives it that nice, bright, citrusy kind of effervescence as well. So really, really good drink if you're not much of a sweet tooth person, or if you like to drink martinis. This kind of gets you a little bit more into that dry flavor profile. So let's go ahead and give this a taste test, see if I can really notice a difference between the two. Yeah, the perfect Manhattan, far less sweet, but you still get that herbal flavor in there. You get the whiskey in there. Wow, that's a tough call actually when you taste them right next to each other. That's quite interesting. I'll tell you this, they're both delicious. This has a little bit more of a sweeter profile, more herbal because it has a little bit more of that Carpano Antica in there. The perfect Manhattan, I love the level of dryness in this cocktail. It is very, very delicious. I would say the one that I like the most is probably the perfect Manhattan. It's got, you know, a little bit more complexity because it's not just a stronger sweet tone. It's a little bit more where my palate likes to be as far as sweetness. Allows the whiskey to speak a little bit more, but you're still getting all that herbal delicious. But honestly, if you handed either one of these to me, I would be insanely happy with either one. So there you have it, two versions of the Manhattan. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Manhattan video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash the thumbs up for us. And remember to subscribe to the channel for future recipes. And let me know down in the comments, I really wanna know, have any of you had a perfect Manhattan before? And if you had, which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments, I wanna know. I don't think a lot of people have ever had a perfect Manhattan before, so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.